Ashley didn't realize how competitive I was truly.
Yeah.
Like she got bits and pieces of it. But we played Dr. Mario one night, and she beat me like 57 times. Not kidding.
Uh-huh.
I reset that motherfucker every time. And it wasn't, and at that point, it wasn't about how many times she could beat me.
Yeah.
It was about the time I didn't fucking lose once.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't going to remember the 57 times she beat me. She was going to remember the time that I beat her.
Yeah. Welcome to the Banter, brought to you by Berserk Athletics. For all your team custom uniform needs, they're the ones to go to. Man, we've been on hiatus for about 2 weeks. Baseball season is full swing. Family life is definitely in full swing.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a hectic, crazy 2 weeks, man. What's been up, Hobbsy?
Man, family, baseball, you know how it is. Starting to get into the rainouts now. Canceled games, all stuff. So, I mean, I had to go out of town for work. So I dodged a bullet there. So, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of last week, I was in Council Bluffs and Omaha. And around that area. Yeah, and then I got home.
You just missed.
Yeah, I got home Wednesday evening. So kind of thank God that would have been fun. But yeah, other than that, man, just the grind. I'm tired. Yeah. I know that. It seems like every time, like time just, you know how it is, man. You know exactly what I mean. It's just nonstop. It's always something.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it's been crazy, hectic. Kids, work, sports. Man, it's been there's no other way to put it, man. Just that everyday life that we go through. I mean, that's the thing about us, man. We're just two individuals. We're not hopping on planes. We're not making special guest appearances. We're not, living the lavish life of the rich and famous, man. We're just doing this to, let people out there know that, hey, we're normal just like everybody else.
Right.
Doing it one way or another. So let me try to, man, first of all, so how's high school baseball season going?
It's going well. They lost a couple tough ones in there.
Yeah.
They lost when they shouldn't have.
Uh-huh.
You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
But currently, let me see where we're sitting at. I want to make sure I'm right. We're in a good spot. We're in the driver's seat for conference.
That's
driver's seat for districts. They are currently 14-4. So, a couple rainouts here and there. We're down to the last stretch. We've got Benton's the last game on the schedule. Benton, not a problem. That'll be. It's not going to matter for them. It's not going to matter for us, but it'll definitely be. They're pretty legit.
Yeah.
I think they've only lost like 3 or 4 games, and they're a class above us. But
yeah,
they're doing good, man. The boy obviously. Funny thing. The boy missed some time. The coach has them bunt 90. So apparently he was trying to get a bunt down and caught the bottom of the ball, spun it off his face. Thank God his sunglasses were there.
But how many stitches?
4. The cheek, but the cheek pretty much exploded as far as blood vessels and bruises and stuff. So it knocked him. It was I think it was the concussion that got him more than the stitches. He was in a different world for a few days. So with the rainouts, it's good. He hasn't missed as much as he could have.
Yeah.
He should get right back into action. I think he should be cleared. He's got to, their PT that they have at the school's got to concussion clear him one more time. But after that, he should be good to go. His stitches came out Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this little time, got back in there. So hopefully the rest of the season he can grind it out and see if they can make a little bit of noise in the postseason run.
Oh,
I'm hoping they figure out how to hit a lefty somewhere in that mix, because apparently every one of them they're facing right now is Sandy Koufax. So having a little trouble with lefties.
Oh man, that's it amazes me how I hear so many times I hear people say I have troubles hitting lefties.
Well, and they're a righty dominant lineup, so to me it just floors me.
It floors me because you hear that, and I try to explain to somebody that I read the ball coming out of a left hand better than I did a right hand sometimes.
This is my favorite thing to hit. I absolutely wanted to hit lefties, and the best lefties, all of them, because unless their curveball was like straight 12-6, if it swept, anything you could open up on, if they tried to go inside, you could open up on it. You usually could pick it up. It did all the work for you, or everything just naturally kind of came into your hands. And if you had quick hands, man, it was just too fun. You're like, oh yeah.
It is, especially if you had a lefty that came from like an arm slot, a side, like an angle arm slot. And then I just read it like in this. If you had, especially two seam, that was like stepping on the tee for me. But
I've always been that way with that, man. I'm like, I see it now with all the high school kids, and a lot of them struggle, and I'm like, what's going on here?
It's funny you say that, because I'm sure, like you do, I do a lot of studying of hitting still to this day. Especially helping my boys and helping my son in particular. You try to get new ideas, you try to do new things, and some of the things I'm seeing is, how come, we have pitchers who will practice throwing fastballs, two seams, four seams, changeups, and curveballs or whatever else they throw. But then we have batters, we put them in there in a straight fastball.
Right.
You can't emulate a, when you do front toss or you put it on the tee, the ball doesn't sit on, the ball's not moving.
Right.
All that stuff. And it's weird because you get kids in there with the machine sometimes, and they'll absolutely are horrible at it.
Yeah.
And I'll even say my son struggles because I take him. Matter of fact, we just came from DBAT earlier this afternoon, and I think when you and I grew up, we had those old machines where you saw the arm.
Yeah,
it was easier to
time it. Yeah,
time it, get your load. Get the bat around, all that. Now they have all this stuff where it just shoots down, and it throws that timing off a bit. And I try to tell them, like, one of the good things, the DBAT that we go to, they have a curveball option.
Yes.
And I put them up there about 60, 65. Get the. And I said, all right, we're gonna do curveballs. I'm gonna do about 60. It struggles. He's coming.
Man, the high school kids, like, God bless them all. Nothing. I don't take nothing away from them. They set fastball all day. If they get a curveball, I'm telling you right now, man, if it's a good curveball, I'm telling you, I bet you we're 89%, 90% struggling.
Man.
Like in the whole lineup.
Yeah.
And God bless those kids, because they work their asses off hitting, man.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we're 90, and we're righty on righty curveballs, lefty curveballs. I mean, we're talking any breaking stuff at all.
Yeah.
And they're just not, and you can tell it's like they're just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Like they're not, and you see it a ton in summer ball. You see it in live pitching. And I don't know how you are with this, but when we talk about pitching machines, I don't know what I haven't been, when I actually started coaching there for a little bit, and and always with hitting, because I'm how I am. I'm always just trying to stay up with what's going on.
Yeah.
I have always been and always will be an advocate. I know you have your pitchers that you don't want to be getting throwing too much, but bullpen sessions with live hitting is, to me, absolutely vital. It's absolutely important. And I feel like once you hit the high school level, live pitching is so important. I mean, I know there's days when the weather's shitty and, you've thrown all 8 of your dudes. But, I mean, if your coaches can get in there and even throw fuck your shoulder. I love you to death, coach. But, if you can get in there and throw a little hanger or something with a little gravity curve, a little ephus, by God, throw that elbow out, the glory of the boys,
and
man.
you could
get them to, keep that weight back. Get them, hitting that ball to right, or get them setting on it to yank it, man. Just do something so that when they see one in a game, they don't look like Stevie Wonder swinging at a fucking. Dude, it's so bad. Gotta love them.
I had 12s, 13s.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're starting to see a little more breaking. Definitely off speed more.
Oh yeah.
And you can't get these boys to stay back on anything.
No.
Like,
oh no.
As a coach and a former catcher, former pitcher, kind of in that age group, if you're down 0-2, you should know it's coming.
Oh yeah. I mean,
if you've seen it once,
yeah,
they still don't throw a lot of it at the first pitch. It's so I try to tell them, look, the minute you're down 0-2 or you're down 1-2, hell, if you're even down 2-2,
mm-hmm.
keep your hands back.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
That's their out pitch. That's all I know.
This age range, that is the out pitch.
Yeah.
These guys way out front on that front foot.
And it's funny the kids too, man, like, especially because, trust me, at that age you're coaching, I know that was where I was at with it. One of the things that you can teach it 1,000 times, but they're just not, they don't understand it yet, is like tendencies.
Yeah.
So like starting to understand, like when you're in the donut and you're waiting to hit, and you're watching a pitcher, or you're seeing things like in innings to innings, like when you're facing good pitching, like how it changes, or picking up what a coach is calling, man, because it's funny, I'll set, at the high school games, and it's funny, I sat up there with Ashley, I kind of sat to myself because, I truly enjoy like watching them play the game.
Yeah.
But I I get to the fact I'll be paying attention, and I can literally pick up most of the time what the coaches are calling for pitches pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like the other team, or even what our guys calling, like, and you're like, man, and you can see when he's getting fastball heavy and like he's relying on it too much. You can see when nothing else is working, so we're going to start the hitter off with a curveball because our fastball is dog shit.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw breaking balls until our elbow goes. And you can see it, but like you can't teach that. And I mean, you can, but they got to want to learn it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be one of the harder things to teach, especially young kids. Like it's a dedication, I think, and just it's a patience thing to just realize you're watching and understanding what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or why they would change it, or the scenarios that would come into play. And you have to want to pick up all those little things. And I think, as they get older, the age you got them is when they start seeing, you guys start telling them and they start seeing things like that. But as they get older, it's for them to understand things like that, to where they put it together and then they're like, okay, so we're in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
We've made him, you look at our team, you look where we're at in the order, we've scrapped like 8 runs. So we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
He's running low.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches at that point where, they haven't put up many runs. We're 8-1, 8-2. They don't have a lot going on. They're going to try to get as many innings out of this guy as they can.
Yeah.
Probably. We're going to try to see what we got. The fastball's garbage. We know that it was in the 1st inning and 2nd inning, he was a little pumped up. We put up an 8 spot, and all of a sudden now he's kind of He's already kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
Curveball's getting us flailing a little bit. They're getting heavy on it. Knowing when to like, okay, sit back, expect curveball first, then go to fastballs and stuff like that. And it's not to keep going about it, but you know how it is. It's just part of learning
It
it.
is.
And it's as if any young kids watching this and stuff, I know you look at us and you're like, these guys know what the fuck we're talking about. But trust me this way. If you want to be a good hitter, it's a lot of skill. Trust me, it's a lot of skill, but it's also a lot of any way you can get an advantage.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be dudes that just can flat pitch it.
Yeah.
That's usually the way it works. And you might be able to pick up something that the other guys aren't seeing. And if he's throwing a fastball in this count, or he's hanging a curveball as a chase pitch or a setup pitch for something else, if you can start realizing and seeing that shit, then you're going to be way better off, because that might be the one pitch you hit. And if you square it, man, that might be the difference in you winning a 1-0 ball game in a fucking, state championship, or a big game, or driving in a run that matters. And it's huge for that, to be able to pick that kind of stuff up. Curveballs especially, boys, because apparently everybody from 12 years old now, it's either Tommy John or throw 450 fucking curveballs a game.
One thing I have noticed, and I'll go into this with my boys, is the tendencies, they don't share information, which is shocking to me. You have some that will say, hey, look out for this, and some of them, but it goes through one ear and out the other. We started our season. We were 2 tournaments in. We're off to a rough start. We're like, out of 6 games, we're 1-5. There's talent on the team, but the problem is you have half of them that are all in, and the other half that are kind of not all in.
Yep.
And trying to get it to mesh.
It's tough, man.
And when you have this age where it's the age of defiance, the age of, I'm better than this kid, so I should be playing, or I'm better than this person, so I should be batting in this spot, or I should be playing this position. But I'm in the age in the group where, man, it is so hard, because you try to teach them accountability for what they do. Try to teach them. I gave these. I went out, ordered small little notebooks for the boys. Here's the thing. I want you guys to take notes of all the work you do outside of practice. Because in reality, you guys are about to be moving into the echelon of that when it comes to comp ball at high school age, and then in another year trying out for high school ball.
Right.
So if when I ask them all, like, hey, who wants to go on and play high school ball, you get majority of them raise their hand. I respect the ones who said they don't. I'm fine with that. But then when you say, what are you doing outside of what you just come for that hour and a half, 2 days a week, so 3 hours total, what are you doing outside of that to make yourself better, to get to that next level? And a lot of them just, playing catch is great. Playing catch with dad or brother is great. Hitting off a tee is awesome. But I go, what are you just going out there on the tee? You taking hacks, or are you really working on the little things?
Exactly.
Am I? I go. It's hard, because my main state was you batting practice with a purpose. Play catch with a purpose. That was stuff that was ingrained in me at that age, and I'm trying to ingrain in them. But then you have these kids that think they know it.
Oh yeah, yep.
And don't get me wrong, it's like, I understand when you play comp ball, you play organization ball, and parents will go, "Hey, I'm paying this and this and this for my kid to play." But I go, in my mind, I'm like, what is your kid doing outside of normal practice?
Yeah.
Because the ones who are doing it, you can tell. And the ones who don't, you can tell. And,
Oh, yeah.
and then
For sure.
when you sit there and go, hey, like, you practicing hitting like like it'd be like high school kids, you practicing hitting off curveballs.
Yeah.
Like if you're practicing hitting fastballs and curveballs, I mean, stuff's going to throw you off. Like hitters,
Yeah.
hitters are going to strike out.
Absolutely.
Hitters are going to be fooled. But I go, if you're not practicing with the purpose, and then you come out here, and then you go, hey, you get upset because you're not put in situations, and then you get upset, and then it's like, well, what are you doing if I put you in and you're being lackadaisical towards the ball, you're not being aggressive at the plate,
Exactly.
you're going half-ass, you're not giving me, you're and then they get upset, but at the same time it's all like, what I'm trying to teach you to say, I got to work harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's hard is there's a couple kids that you could tell that work, and the ones that don't. And man, it's been a trying first couple tournaments. I hope I hope, man, that they kind of figure it out. Because if not, you try to tell them, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a long season. Really is.
Yeah.
Unless I can't figure it out for you. You got to figure it out for yourself.
Exactly.
And then,
and it's like you said too, man. One of the biggest parts of it, and this is huge. Goes into high school. This is everywhere. So half the battle is you have to, when you hit an age when you have all these other sport options, and especially in that transition age of what you're at right now, you have to, number one, above all else, if you're going to play competitive baseball or in league ball, or like not league ball so much, but like competitive tournament baseball.
Yeah.
Or summer baseball like that, like you guys are doing it. Or if you're in one of the academies, or if you're in one of the clubs, if you're going to do that, number one is, as a parent, I mean, this is huge. And as the kid at 13 to 14 years old, they're old enough to be able to make the real decision. I mean, it's you're going to have your parents help you with it probably, but is this what you really want to do? And do you enjoy it? Or are you doing this to kill time? Which, if you're doing this to kill time and you want to be with your buddies, I get that. I totally get that. But in reality, go into it knowing that, and we know that. But if you're going into this and you're saying all the right stuff and you're doing all this, then you gotta be, I think half of it is you have to have kids that enjoy it from the gate. Like out the gate. If they don't want to do it, like if they don't enjoy going to hit, you're already dead in the water. So, that's a perfect example. My stepson, Braden, he likes baseball, and we've talked about this before. He doesn't love it. But for the boys you coach, or, you think of any club teams or city ball, should I say, the bigger you get, the more kids are in that school, the more competitive it is to get on the team, let alone to even start on that team.
Most definitely.
At a 4A school, a 5A school, a 6A school, you're talking about 65, 75, maybe, kids all together for every class going out. In a school our size, you're not running into that. You're running into, you have enough kids to fill a varsity and JV team, and maybe 2 or 3 that are still going to get some PT one way or another. And if you don't love it, it don't matter, because you're probably still gonna be talented enough at it and do just enough to be, to make the team. The higher up higher class in high school you get, it's not like that. Those options all disappear. So if you don't genuinely, if you go into it and you already genuinely don't like it, and you're just doing it because it gives you something to do during the summer, or because dad's living through you, or because mom doesn't want to deal with you all summer long, or we need to keep. He needs to be in something, but we don't know what. That's that's the problem, and I feel for you every time, like when we talk, because I'm like, now because you and me come from, we didn't have no fucking club ball.
Head scratcher.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but like we didn't have club ball. Now we might have had the same team for a few years.
We had,
and we had.
I guess what you could say, like to me, would be the not club, but it was more of the what they considered the travel ball.
Yeah, and we had.
I mean, you were there was about two teams. Probably where you're from, maybe one team, maybe two that had the best of the best.
Don't travel, yeah. And back then I know that it's not the term they use for it anymore, but we called them the all-star teams.
Yeah.
Or our travel teams, but you didn't have like what you have now, and you have one club that's got fucking 18 teams in every division.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you see the prices of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's a young boy on the high school team I'm trying to help him get on a squad, late to the party, but I'm starting to see this stuff, and I'm like, my God, man. I'm like, and so I told him flat out, I'm like, man, I know you want to pitch and get out there and face some live competition. Well, like at this point, for the cost of this coming from where we live, going all the way there, at this point, I'm sure there's enough kids around here like that are on the ball team that we can get, around here, and just you can pitch to live, and like it's not the same, but create some scenarios that make it work, so we're not spending $1,200 for this, and this.
Now,
just to say you're on the team.
And
crap.
That's what's crazy. Because as part of it is I go back and forth about being part of a club and organization. There's benefits, there's downfalls. Just like there's benefits to independent ball, there's downfalls to it. You always get, well, all you got to do is pay to play. Well, you know what? When we grew up, everybody paid to play.
Right, yeah.
But in reality, you are also realistic. I think us as parents, sometimes we're not realistic.
Right.
And we get tunnel vision with our own kids. As one of the biggest things is, yes, I coach my son, but I know how to push my son. I know get what to get out of him to help him be a top performer. But at the same time, it's like you can sit there and question, and people, I'm sure you dealt with it, and a lot of people deal with it. The only reason why he's playing is because he's the coach's son.
Yeah, but you're always gonna, and that's always gonna be
that
with everybody that does it.
And I go, but is your son putting in the same amount of work as my son does?
Yeah, because you know what he's doing.
I see what he's doing. Your son,
and you're pushing him.
Put the accountability on him, and for him to come to practice and say, yes, coach, I put in the work. And it's funny how it started off saying, yeah, coach, we're putting in extra work and da-da-da-da-da. And then just the last practice ago, I said, be honest with me, who's really doing it?
Right, yeah.
And then you started to get these And I said, no, there is no yes or no.
Yeah.
And then
all in,
started getting a lot of, because boys at 12, boys at 13, they give excuses. I've done it. I just haven't written it down for you, coach. Da da da. And then when you ask, like, man, I'm not going to ground you. I'm not. Just like, be honest with me, because in reality, you're taking accountability. And then all of a sudden, it went from to, nah, coach, I haven't.
Right.
And then you have the kids to say, yeah, I am. And you know who is. And then you say, see, that's the problem. You can't complain about them when they're the ones that are taking the extra ground balls. They're the ones that are taking the extra swings. They're the ones that are putting in the extra work. Now, on the same flip side, like if just because you take 100 swings don't mean you're taking 100 swings effectively.
Right.
Just because you take 100 pop balls or someone hits you 100 pop balls, how is your route to those fly balls? Or are
Yeah.
you standing there and catching them?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, for sure.
When you take ground balls, are you coming through like are you practicing the right motions of funneling the ball in and getting ready to throw and all that stuff? And at this age, I'm finding it more and more complicated because for one, they think they all can do it, and they think they've done it right for so many years, and they think they know it, and you look back and say, how were your previous coaches?
Oh yeah. Oh no. That's absolutely what I was about to say. That a lot of that goes right back to what coached them before and what was routine and what was normal and what wasn't.
What did he teach you? What
or not teach you too.
Because my biggest thing is, and I try to tell them, like, look, that was your old coach's way. This is not my way.
Exactly.
I try to be upfront with the parents and try to say, look, I'm going to teach these kids, I'm going to coach these kids like a high school, like basically like they're going into high school. They're going to have to earn their playing time. They're going to have to earn it on the field. But I also have to go, I got to play my stronger players and not say the ones who are not so strong, but like, what is it that I need to do to help you, the weaker ones get up to that level? What is it that I have to do as a coach to say, what is it am I doing wrong or what am I not doing right? Get the best out of the ones who like, are not, who can't quite, they're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
They're, you don't know what they're going to be, you don't know what they're going to do. But at the same time, it's like, man, what you try to get the best out of them, but you're battling confidence, issues, you're battling just what has been taught to them bad mechanically from past coaches, stuff like that. Not saying that my way is the best way or the perfect way, but I want it my way.
Yeah.
And man, it's like, it's been rough. I tell you what, I went in with high hopes. And confidence is a big thing. I don't recall not having like the lack of confidence like I see some of these kids do. They walk in dripped out. They walk in with swagger. But when it comes time to when adversity hits them in the face, a lot of them sit there and take the punches and can't throw back.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely floored.
Well, and they're, I saw that the last couple of years I coached Braden's, like helped coach Braden's team, and I saw that. I didn't see it near as much when I coached my nephew years prior.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not going to go into. I mean, we already know. I'm not going to say it's just this era's kids, but we already know. It's like beating a dead horse. We already know that. But it goes back to instant gratification.
Yeah.
What we see on television.
Yep.
And the fact that I noticed I'm not parenting is, you and me talk about time. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Yeah.
Just to get through a normal day without sports is adding sports to it's one thing.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that a lot of coaches don't stop to realize, I know I'm sure a lot of them do too, but a lot of sports parents don't realize is that for every one of us that like are sports people, you might encounter 9 kids on a ball team whose mom and dad were not sports people, and their effort into their kid playing is getting them there, paying for the club fees or paying for whatever they want, but that's where the interest stops.
Yeah.
So the push is hard there. It's I think sometimes you see, like I said that on my kids' baseball team, and I didn't mean it bad, but I'm like, what I see here, and it was not a disrespectful observation, is that I had more NASCAR dads than I had baseball dads.
Yeah.
Or I had majority moms.
Yeah.
And dads that were,
absolutely
out grinding, working their ass off, and had to work till 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Putting food on the table or whatever was going on. And so I had divorcee moms, single mom.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And they got a lot on their plate anyway. So
it is.
You get the kids to where they need to go to. And I guess what I'm getting at is like it's tough sometimes to do that extra part.
Yeah.
Where like you and me or a lot of us will always do everything sports related.
Yeah.
And can see the potential. A lot of times, those parents don't even see it. They're just taking them and letting them do what they like. And we're like, holy shit, this kid could be really good at this.
And
someone else has got to,
I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because that is kind of one of the things, with me, and when I think parents, again, touchy subject in some places.
Oh, always
is. I love parents who are enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
But I go, you have parents who, just because you watch the game, just because you may have played it to a certain point, doesn't mean you can coach the game.
No. And I appreciate that they do.
Yeah.
But do it in league ball.
My biggest thing is, and that's, people always talk about daddy ball.
Yeah.
But I always say, if it wasn't for a lot of dads and a lot of these kids, there wouldn't be a lot of kids playing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Kid deserves the right to learn to play a sport, no matter who's coaching. But at the same time, if you're going to do it, you can't just focus on your kid.
Exactly. You have to balance it out.
All the kids.
Exactly.
Being kind of the head guy is, you have to focus on all of them. My individual focus is when him and I are by ourselves and we're out working.
Exactly.
Hour and a half at D-bat today.
Yep.
We worked hitting, we worked catching techniques, blocking, throwdowns, front toss. He hit off the machine for a little bit. Hour and a half worth of work. But when we go into practice, he's not just the individual I focus on. I focus on all of them as a whole. Because in my eyes, I'm giving him the tools that when we step into practice, that he should already kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. So you know what's coming. You know what to expect.
You know what's coming. You've had me now for a couple of years, couple seasons now as a coach. So you understand it. You understand what I expect. I mean, you understand how I am. And I guess what happens is sometimes I go, you have parents who don't understand the process. They think they can just drop their kid off and you're supposed to work magic tricks on them.
Yeah, and that's exactly, that's not how it works.
To go, well, they have to do the stuff outside of practice in order to get that playing time or get seen. Because when it comes down to it, when they move on to high school, it's going to be that way. Yeah. I mean, God forbid, if they play another competitive sport, you may be just because you're the star on say the football team or the soccer team or the basketball team, doesn't mean you can transition over to a baseball field and be the star.
Oh no.
And I think that's what gets people, because me personally, I have kids that can, I look at it and say, like you said earlier, I have kids that can just go, man, if you could just realize what you have talent-wise.
Yeah.
And not play around. take things a little more serious. You could skyrocket in this game.
Absolutely.
You could definitely play a high school level ball. You could definitely, if you keep working, yeah, you could go on and, not saying D1, but I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Some of them already have the work ethic. Some of them are, man, I told them, I said, look, man, school's about to get out. I'm going to know even more then because I'm going to know who sits on Fortnite for hours on end or who actually says, I'm going to go hit for an hour. I'm going to hit for 30 minutes. So I'm going to throw around for 15 minutes, a day.
Exactly.
It's going to show. It's tough, man, because, the parent side of it is, like I said before, it's, man, you have tunnel vision to your own kid. You only see what you think you want to see. And sometimes approach a coach, but understand you may not like what you're going to hear.
No.
But you have to be realistic with it. Like, I straight up, when my boy was playing someone else and he wasn't quite getting the playing time and all that stuff, went to conversation, like, what's he need to do? Like, what's he need to do to your eyes? Like, so we can work on him more and understand that he's new to your team. He made your team, like, he's had some good games, he has some bad games, and you've kind of not played him so much. And like, what is it going to take for him to do to say, okay? Because I'm sure you have the same philosophy. Is like, give me a reason not to take you out of the lineup.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And dude, again, too, like you said, and that's the thing. As a parent that gives a shit, that's one of the big parts. Like you just said, like coaches are not every coach, obviously, because there's always going to be those assholes. Not fun, But when you have an open line of communication, obviously you prefer not be on game day and you prefer it not be in the middle of the game or right after it. But if you want to know what your child can do, or what the coach is seeing to do better, then you need to ask.
You need to ask.
It's cut and dry that way. And if you don't, then it's hard for anybody to say, you're going to sit here and get pissed about it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask the question, no, you're not doing yourself any favors, and you're not helping your kid at all.
Yeah.
You have to keep that open line, and I know it's tough, because, I know when I coached, I could be kind of, I don't know, little bit of a pain in the ass, and I wasn't a great parent coach, but that was because I said what needed to be said.
Yeah.
And
I come off very asshole-ish.
And it's not because I love the kids. I know how you are. You're the same way. It's you love the kids. You're passionate about this. You're taking time. You're taking your time.
Yeah.
And dedicating it to these young men or ladies, whichever, as any coach does. That's the one thing I think that everyone stops to forget and doesn't realize. They forget how much time goes into, you doing this.
Yeah.
The practices, the time that you get, and these kids become like your kids, not just on sports in general. Like, you're raising, you become a part of raising them in a way. Like, maybe not food at home and shit like that, but there are things that I know for a fact, and I know you know this, that especially right now, and especially with the boys that maybe not have a father figure at home or not an active father figure.
Yeah.
You become way more than just a coach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, or problems that they come to you with.
Yeah.
You might be in the middle of playing catch or just in the dugout, and they'll hit you with something out of nowhere, and you're like, holy shit. And it's deep, and you're like, it's the dedication it takes. So when you see a kid that, or a parent that's like with their son or their daughter, and they're just kind of half-assing it.
Yeah.
And you're dedicating all yours. That, long story short of that is it's just frustrating. Because you see the potential in the kid, you want them to see it, you see everything about it, and then you can only do so much. Like, you're already doing so much. So after that point, there's that line where you're like, what are you going to do? Like, what, help me, or help your fucking kid, for fuck's sake. Look at what they do. And you're like, even if you don't give a shit about it, it's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if this kid loves this and wants to be good at this and commit to it, with anything in your means, and it might be you can't afford to take them to do the extra hitting or stuff like that, get on YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch some hitting videos. Take your ass outside with that kid. Get a fucking tee, or take them, call you, contact you, and you already see the work getting put in. There's coach. And
I have told, parents myself, look, I have, like, you're more than well. All you have to do is reach out, man. You come into my garage and hit off my hitting station I have set up. Like,
exactly.
You could go out in my backyard and we could toss the ball around and we could work on little things. Like, it's like I had, I got frustrated a little bit. And, it's because it's like, I guess that, like you said, parents don't see the time you put into it. You're passionate about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't get paid to coach your kids.
No.
Because if I did, believe me, some of them probably be long gone.
Yeah. Yeah, things would be different.
Up with the attitudes, I wouldn't put up with the bullshit. I wouldn't put it up with the shit.
Yeah.
On top of that, I do this because I love it, and the fact that I love to be, it's part of me. It's been, the game of baseball is ingrained in me. It's ingrained into my kids. All that stuff. And I said, the countless hours you think of coming up with practice plans, the countless hours like leading up to, game weekends, going through lineup scenarios, go through your pitching rotation scenarios, go through all that stuff. And then the passion you just have for the kids.
Right. Watching them do it.
Day one, I'm going to treat your kid like I treat my own. And I do. And I think that's where I go. You see the potential in these kids, and you want to see this succeed. I want to see all of them succeed. If they move on from baseball and they go on for like a great health, they go on to play lacrosse. Like, I want you to succeed. And I want to say, hey, I helped along that way, teach you just something. And it's like the team I had at the end of last season. I'm not denying saying top to bottom, there was a lot more talent, say 1 through 10. We'll just go 1 through 10. Than the ones we over here. But there's a lot more upside with the group of kids I have now. If they just put that foot forward and go with it and don't be so scared to bust through the wall.
Yep.
It's like you see them and go, it's like they're almost scared to just be too good.
Yep.
Because now the pressure's really on.
Yeah. And it's like, just get over the hump, man.
The kids last year were already kind of there. And, it was, regardless here, they're like, those kids last year at the end of the year, when it was our final season, I teared up in front of the players, in front of the parents, because of the passion I had for the kids, that I was, all in for the kids. And the fact that the season was so up and down, I just wanted to see all of them walk away as winners. Yeah. And when they lost, it was a hard pill to swallow, because it's like you see 11 defeated faces, and you're looking at all of them like they're your sons.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Now I got this group where it's like you look at them and, like I said, we've lost more than we won. But when we did win that one, man, it was like the joy that overcame. And it was all like, now you have to realize, like, now you got a taste of it. Don't just think, oh, we got this one. They found out how quickly the game will humble you.
Yep.
And then you see how deflated they look, and then your frustration comes in. And my frustration comes in because you saw the wheels falling off. And I just wanted to, like, man, I wanted to go back. Like, I wish I could just grab the ball and just go in and bat and go up and take a hit, or go pitch to the batter, like, do it that way. And it's like with this group of boys, it's been it's they do test my patience. The more than anything. But it's like they're night and day from last year's group to this year's group. This year's group, they're more. I think it's the age, a little more disciplined. Last year, they're a little more. This year, they're yes, coach, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, no, coach. That type of stuff. The other ones were not. Even though I loved them all. But it's like, man, I want this group of kids to succeed so much, and I see so much potential in them. I wish that they could see the potential in them.
Right.
And man, it's like, it's like one of those things. We've been going hard since January, and then you come in and you're not. But hey, man, like I know it's a game of baseball. There's peaks and valleys.
Yep.
We're in a valley, and back to the drawing board. Maybe I said, all the rain ended up canceling practice like the end of the week. Like maybe that was just a little break. Maybe already it's as crazy as it sounds.
Hey,
maybe
sometimes it does a lot of good.
Regroup.
Yep.
Take a break. Go back to the drawing board. So this is what we didn't succeed at.
Yep.
Now this is
what do we need to do better
to succeed. Like, pitching is one of our biggest things. We're not deep with pitching, so that kind of hurts us.
That's tough, man.
Defensive wise, I think I got to figure it out. It's like I got about 5 kids that really want them to bust through that wall and come out and just take it. Like, you got to understand, like, just grab it. It's there for you. Like, it's there for you. You just go grab it. You just got to be willing to grab it. You want to instill confidence in these boys. But, man, it amazes me how the confidence level of some of them is like, they do good, and then the minute something goes wrong, it's like.
And that's, like I said, the kids I coach too, they're in high school now. And it's kind of the same thing, man. Like, so, like, I'm hard on Braden, not in front of people, and I'm not, like, as hard as I could be on him. Like, I could be way worse, and I think he knows that. But like I said, I know he likes it. He doesn't love it, so I don't push the issue. But I do my coaching to Braden after, I let the high school coaches do their thing with him and all that. I do my coaching to Braden when we get home. And, like, after the game, I explain, what I'm seeing, what they're probably seeing, and, how I would do it, but also to not step on their toes to how they do it. I'm like, take a little bit of both of these things and piece them together. And you're old enough now to figure out what's best to keep them happy, but also, not taking anything away from them, because I'm not going to be, dad that knows more than coaches do. But, I've been there too. I know, I know what's going on here with some of it confidently. So, I try to do that. What's tough for me is, like you said, one of the things with a lot of the boys I had too was a lot of talent, but also a lot of potential talent that was not getting brought out. And it was out of, it was not, and what frustrated me, it was out of my control. And so much of me passionately, because of baseball and for liking the kids, I wanted to get it out of them for them. But not enough time. I got to them too late. I'm very confident in the fact that I know for a fact a lot of it was I didn't come on board until late. So that 4 or 5 years of, maybe consistency that I could have given them or helped with, I didn't get to. But that's also why I try to stay and watch them play their JV games or when they're in varsity. And I still talk to them, and I'm the biggest fan when they're playing. You can hear me over everybody else at the high school games. I'm still loud as shit. And you can see it in some of them, the calming demeanor of they hear the same stuff they heard when I was coaching them. Like, and I don't give a shit who hears it. You can hear it from where I'm sitting all the way out there. But, you see the potential still there. And you're still like, here we are at 16, the same thing we saw at 13. And now we're at 15 and 16, and we're sitting here, and here's old Coach Mikey still sitting back there like,
yeah,
come on, boys. And it's there, and it's again, it's one of those things where, and like you, I'm to this day, like, I don't coach anymore in the summer or anything, but it would take it, even the boys that ask me now, like on the high school team that are like Braden's age that I coached, I would do anything I could. Like if they needed me to like help them with hitting or anything, they open up that worm. They know for a fact that if they come and ask me, that means we're going to work. We're not half-assing this. We're either going to fix it or we're not doing it at all.
And I think that's it's like the difference between, like I said, the boys I had last year and this one. There's a lot of them. Yeah, the talent was all there. Like I said, say like 1 to 10, and then over here, but I think the difference between it is, it's like if they would kind of get out of that half-ass attitude. Like and this goes back to a lot of things I said, is like, society allows these kids to kind of do things half-ass and not take accountability for it, where, we only get so much time with them.
Yeah.
I can only hit so many grounders to a kid to say, why can't you get this?
Right. I too think that, this is, I honest to God think that I'm convinced of this, and a lot of people probably think I'm crazy for this. I don't think, and we go on this all the time, they do things half-assed and stuff. I feel like these days, everyone takes the easy route. Not everyone, but a majority of people take the easy route in protecting kids in sports.
Yes.
From old school coaching, from the ass rippings they may really need in life in general. Like I feel like the world's such a shitty place anyway that we're doing everything we can to protect every single part that we make not mentally strong kids.
I'll say we have pussified this age kid.
I was trying to behave myself for once, but
and basically in reality is we've helped turn these kids off. I not to sound mean or cruel, or the way I put it is like, you turn them soft, like you turn them to pussies.
You hear it now. You hear they got that dog in them. It's funny that they have to have that dog in them now.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, you didn't have to say they had that dog in them, because I looked out and about, I don't know, majority of the kids I played anything with had dog in them.
Yeah.
Like that was just the mentality. That wasn't that they didn't just that guy had that dog in him. I saw
dog
almost like to this day, half my buddies, the guys I grew up with, the guys that raised their kids, the moms even, like those women, them girls that I grew up, they already had dog in them. You didn't have to say they had that dog. They were already tough, mentally strong. Fuck you, I can do it myself. I don't need nobody.
Yeah.
If you tell me I'm not good at this, I'll get better at it. Or I'm going to show you. Like everyone had kind of that chip on their shoulder in one way or another, that they fucking owned it.
Yeah.
Like, or they wanted to do that. And when you didn't just get beat. And if you did get beat, you might get that little grin. You could see it on some of them where the shoulder shrug came.
Yeah.
And then in a doubleheader, they waxed you the first game. But instead of like everybody hanging their head low, you see that grin come up, and then bam, we turn around and like fuck somebody up, and you're like, cool, you got us a first game. Now we're gonna turn around and roll the fuck out of you, just so you know that that's not how this is always gonna go.
Where say there's that fire. I don't think
exactly.
Okay, let's be nice about it. They don't understand how you can't light a fire under their ass.
No,
because
and you have to hate losing more than you like winning,
because
to win all the time.
I think when you think about it, it's like we have kids are just, they want it so easy.
And
hey, my son
all the time, anything.
My son's the same way. They want it so easy.
it's because of what they see everywhere. No matter, we can't hide them from it. It's what they see at school, what they see online, what they see on television. It's influencers. It's all this. You don't have to do it the hard way now because you don't have to work for anything. It's just do this, and they don't understand it.
It's like it's like you kind of said. It's like I remember saying, okay, we got our ass beat.
Yeah.
Guess what? You said you circle that next game when we play them again. It ain't gonna happen again. I think what happens is these kids nowadays don't understand that. Like
no, they're like, oh, well, they kicked their ass.
You have
You're like,
and then once they get their ass kicked, they get defeated. And I'm like, me personally, it's like, okay, you got me that one time. Hell, you may
you ain't get me again.
But
you are not getting me again.
We're going down fighting. You going, goddamn it, we're gonna earn your respect.
Exactly. And that's what I always used to tell my boys. I'm like, if you're gonna lose, that's fine. Don't lose and get disrespected too. If I see dudes on the other team fucking laughing at you or making jokes or starting to fuck off, and you sit out here and you just take an ass kicking and you don't do shit about it, or you don't scrap together a couple runs, or you don't even fucking run down the line or something like that. So help me God, after this, you are going to hate me.
Well, it's
I'm like, you do not just give up.
We did the first tournament, we played the team, and one bad inning. Next thing you know, we get our asses kicked. Then, of course, kids be kids, man. I get it. People shit talk. Believe me, I was one of the biggest shit talkers there ever was. And I said that myself. Times, it's easy to talk shit when you're up 12. It ain't easy to talk shit when you're winning by 1.
Hell no. My ass talks shit all the time. I don't give a shit if I was losing or winning.
And my biggest thing is saying is if I overheard one of them say, we're horrible, we shouldn't be out here, and da 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 da. Guess what? When I was your age, guess what? Them motherfuckers would have let us play you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have been like, oh,
let us play you.
That would have been it. Exactly.
And don't let us win because then I'm shit talking. I'm talking you all the way out to the parking lot.
Exactly.
Like
exactly
that. I was. That was just how I came up. Like,
yeah, and it's funny because I have a funny story about it. So yesterday, Carly's been like, she started playing volleyball, and she likes it, like, which is exciting because softball just wasn't it. It's not her thing, but she genuinely has taken a liking to volleyball, and she's in a beginning league, like it's beginners league. She's just learning, but she's doing pretty good. Like she's picking the stuff up well. She enjoys it and stuff. Well, the first week they played a little girls team that had some girls that were obviously more experienced, and I mean they got Rick rolled. I don't think the 2 games. Now, mind you, they won the 2 games, so we never got to a third game. I'm fairly certain it took us like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
To be in and out of there.
Yeah.
And it's their very first game, but I'm sitting here going, and even though it's like just beginners league, I'm sitting here going, oh, I'm already circling back asking Ashley. I'm like, when do we play them again?
Yeah.
Like just win because they got the mom that talks shit and this and that, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh. So we play them yesterday.
Yeah.
And Carly's team wins both games.
Yeah.
And beats them, and I'm up there just under my breath talking more shit, just fucking letting it go. And Ashley's up there laughing at me. I am just mouthing like under my breath, but I'm like, "Fuck yeah, motherfuckers!" Just so hyped, like would have ran through a wall. And it's like, it's funny because what I'm getting at with that is like, you just don't see it in them anymore like that, and it's tough to. It's always going to be tough for us to swallow.
It is.
And it's like I was saying a minute ago, like, you're like I am. Even when we were in slow pitch, you get older, you don't give a shit because at the end of the day, when you stop taking salt, like, we all go through our softball phases where we took it serious.
Yeah.
And then once you stop and just enjoy it with your buddies, you can get used to losing. I mean, it's never fun. But you can also hit a solo bomb and still be like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, of course. That ball went.
You can always get your little.
My ball
Exactly.
went 450, motherfucker. It ain't.
Yeah, you're like, you might have beat me by 25, but at least I killed your pitcher or hit one out.
I went 5 for 5 against you guys. You couldn't stop me.
Exactly. But it's funny, but in general, you're the same way I am with stuff. So I'm sure you have to, and when you find a kid that has this, it's awesome, and you know it. You have to hate losing more than you like winning, because then you win so much more.
Yeah.
Because whether it's video games or something else, like Ashley didn't realize how competitive I was truly.
Yeah.
Like she got bits and pieces of it. But we played Dr. Mario one night, and she beat me like 57 times. Not kidding.
Uh-huh.
I reset that motherfucker every time. And at that point, it wasn't about how many times she could beat me.
Yeah.
It was about the time I didn't fucking lose once.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't going to remember the 57 times she beat me. She was going to remember the time that I beat her. Yeah. The one time. And I was fine with it.
Well.
And she's like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, it's hard to, also as coaches or in general, it's hard to know that kids aren't like you wish they were.
Yeah.
But they're not. I wish to God all of them were, because then they just go for the throat every time. But it's always funny to see that, because I'm like, but that in tune, that gives people that don't understand it, or parents,
yeah,
if they're not like you and me are like with that, or a majority of the dads I know, then they don't understand how frustrated we get.
Yeah.
When you have a kid that's good at something.
Yeah.
Or a group or a team of kids, and they just go like this.
Yeah.
And then they want to go get a fucking popsicle.
Yeah.
Instead of go whip somebody's ass and just beat them. You're like, because then you're just so fucking, you're a ball of rage, not only for losing.
Yeah.
But because they didn't care that they lost. Like you do. Like you're like, you should give a shit about this. And they don't. And so then it just enhances your piss.
So
God, boys, let's go.
Last tournament we lost. So we got knocked out, straight bracket play, first game, boom, done. I sat there, grabbed my sitting bucket, moved away before I even got to the car, sat down. The boy comes over to me, and he kind of knows my routine. He said, "You all right?" Pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Do you want me to leave you alone for a minute?" I'm like, "No." I said, "How do you feel?" He goes, "Well, I'm mad we lost." I said, "Well, pull up a bucket, sit down next to me."
Yeah. Welcome to this.
If you were old enough, I'd crack open a bottle right now. We sit here and take a couple of shots.
Yeah, this is how this starts right here. Right here.
But man, when it comes to winning and losing, it's funny you say that, because I'm like, the boy keeps asking me to play chess with him.
Mm-hmm.
I've never learned how to play chess. I'll play checkers. I don't know how to play chess.
And then you'll lose and you'll be pissed.
Started to learn. Well, he knows how to play. So he asked me all the time, "I ain't playing." Why? I'm not playing you. I don't know how to play. And plus, a lot of me inside because I don't want to lose to you.
Exactly.
I would really be pissed.
Well, that's Braden with Madden. When we first started playing, I ain't having it. I don't care if it's been 2 years. I'll sneak in here, play 16 games on pro or whatever I need to do to make sure he ain't beating me.
Hey,
it's just not how I ain't wired that way.
He tried to come up and play Uno with me. I had to put a quick ass whipping on him. Then he was all like, "Let's play again." I said, "No, we're done. We're good for the night." I had to show you what's up. I wasn't gonna take a chance of losing the next one, so I just went ahead and quit.
Right. And that's the thing, man. And that's the funny thing about competitiveness is I wish more kids had it, because I feel like more kids did have it.
Yeah.
And they don't now. It's not there as much. And when you look at you and me, perfect examples. Go ahead. What?
I think that went away when when we started giving everybody participation trophies.
Yeah, you lost the point.
You lost the spirit of competition.
Yeah, because you're winning something that somebody else is going to get, even if they didn't earn it. I don't mean that. Slippery slope, don't care. I'm not a fucking participation trophy guy, never have been. I think they're stupid. I'll never forget my boys winning a tournament in the losers side of the league.
Yeah.
They won that tournament.
Yeah.
They were a game away from being in the other side, like the winner's side tournament.
Yeah.
And everybody was super excited. And I got the
that's
water bath and everything.
Yeah,
I got the water bath and everything, and I was pissed.
And that's where it gets hard because when you when you take a group of kids and they're not used to winning, and you fall to that silver bracket and they pull it out and they win.
Mm-hmm.
You're happy for them because they, hey, we still went through. We got to the championship game of our side.
Right.
We won it. But then when, like you said, when you were just a game off, or you play crappy, and it's all like, why didn't you have played the same way during this?
Exactly.
And then it's
you run through 4 games, and we're a inning of bullshit away from being in the other side, and I just
all for like giving kids beginners of t-ball.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for, like, yesterday I saw my little daughter. She did her beginner gymnastic meet, very first one. Hey, they scored. I understand this, it like a beginner's one. They kind of an introduction to what it would be like.
Yes. Oh yeah, introductory. Yes.
They pointed them. They didn't like take a lot of deductions off. I mean, God, she's 5. She's not. Sitting here in one of the top gymnasts in the world, but it's like, they gave her medals. They pointed them. They placed them 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Like she took second in an event. She took third in 2 events, but in the overall, she still ended at the bottom. But seeing her face with all these medals on and being excited, it's like, but to me, man, that's what drives that. Oh, this is cool. I want to do this again.
Yeah.
And she was like,
and I think,
when is the next one? Because I want to. So it's like, you got the competitive nature in you.
Yes.
You
and when you're a beginner, I love it. Like I think to give them a taste of what's possible, is great. I like it for that. But I guess for me to reword it, when you hit a certain age, if we're still giving participation trophies, I'm done with it. Like
about 10 years old.
Yeah, I'm done with it. Like I don't want to. I'm glad. Like I said, I was like you said, I was happy for my boys to put 4 together and win that. And I know how excited they were.
Yeah.
And you would have never been able to tell by my face, like, well, probably my face because it's my face. But like, I was happy for all them, and I gave them congratulations and was chipper as shit. But like, Ashley got to hear it.
Yeah.
Braden's funny because Braden had been around me enough. He knew deep down I was like fucking not very happy.
Yep.
Because I'm like, we just like we're celebrating being mediocre.
Yeah.
And it bothered the shit out of me. But at the same time, I was happy they put 4 games together and played well.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's like,
and that's what the hard part is.
Why couldn't you just done this?
Yeah. And that's the hard part, because man, it's like you said, man. We're in a day and age of instant gratification, and I think that God, it's like, to be honest with you, even the equipment these kids use nowadays. We'll talk about it. And I've said this all along. We have come to a day and age, and the sad part is in baseball, it's kind of hard to sit there and say in fast pitch, because technology in the bats, they'll never adjust to, they'll never really truly go to bigger fields. They'll never truly go to wood bats in true, competitive type ball.
Nope. Too much money.
In baseball. And I laugh because, and don't get me wrong, my boy swings on the top of the line bats too.
Yeah.
But you have these kids, and I'll say this, parents bought into the hype, and now a lot of parents are pissed because they bought into the hype.
Yeah.
But I go at 14 years old, 13 years old, when you make that transition to 60-90 and those bats get toned down, and little Johnny, who was hitting 300-foot hardline shots, are now hitting 240 pop flies to the left fielder.
Right. Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
Well, and we know that. We know that all too well from what we played for so long.
Why is little Johnny one of the top hitters on his travel team and allowed to lose this bat? But now that he's in high school, he's got to use a BB Corp bat. He's struggling.
Yep.
These kids are not. These kids are now. It's falling over to the equipment side of sports, and it's.
Oh yeah.
We have said it all along, and I think you and I have said it along. I've had my boy swinging wood from the age of 7, 8. He gets the feel of it. You have your kids with the hottest bats, the composite technology, the stuff like that. That's why I'm like, they're good. Don't get me wrong. I wish I'd have had them when I played.
Right.
But what happens when they transition?
Exactly.
And
struggle bus.
They struggle and bus. Wonder why a kid who wasn't hitting so well can now hit because he went the other route and trained hard with all the other tools, the wood bats and everything else.
And any true baseball person will tell you this, and you know this, and we can bring on any person baseball related there is. If you get the mechanics down,
yep.
If you consistently find your swing, get on top of the ball, not under the ball, on top of the ball, for those that don't know, and hit the barrel. And if you hit barrel, or you square up and you get a lot more barrel balls than you do off the end of the bat and you stay consistent, I don't give a shit if you're swinging your $700 bat or the $200 bat. If you can hit a baseball and your mechanics stay true and you work at that and you get consistent and you truly find your swing and your timing, it doesn't matter.
No.
What of the $700 bat, the $200 bat, the wood bat, it does not matter. If you barrel a baseball, the only difference you're going to find is you might go 326 on a 325 field, and dude might hit one 330. But I'll tell you what, your 3-run homer that won the game and his solo shot in a 7-1 loss is completely different. Because they're not going to remember that yours went fucking, 326. They're going to remember it won a baseball game, and they're also going to remember the line you had that day where, you had 3 ribbies, went 2 for 3 or 3 for 4 or 4 for, and you barreled everything. So you hit everything fucking hard.
Yeah.
You hit a ball through somebody. You hit a gap. You went backside and hit something through the hole.
Yeah.
You moved runners around. No one, I don't, and I, mind you, people, anybody watching, I still sell baseball bats. I sell more baseball bats than I do softball bats, and I sell more fast pitch bats than anything. But this is me telling you all, like, I'll sell you all the $700 bats you want. And if I like you, I'm going to tell you to buy the $200 bat, even if you don't like the name of it, even if you don't like the color. But that extra $500 you took the kid to get real hitting lessons from a real hitting coach. And I promise you, that kid with that $200 bat will do the same damage, and you'll be like, that's money I spent way better.
Yeah.
To have that kid, because then he can pick up any bat in that dugout. He can go to the $700 bat kid, or he can go to the $40 bat kid from Walmart. And he might not hit it out with, To be honest, though, let's be honest. He might not hit it out with the Walmart bat, but by God, I bet you he can still hit a gap with it just fine.
Oh yeah.
And in some cases, he might hit it out with that just fine too. Like it's,
Yep.
Because these wood bats, these major leaguers swing, I feel like everyone's naive to it. Folks, they're not hotter than the other one. They're weighted different. Because
there's a difference in
major leaguers like different balances, different lengths, different weights. Some are heavier than others. But as far as performance wise, at that age, it's barrel. Like if you're at that level, it ain't got nothing to do with the $700 bat. It's got to do with you put in all that work and you became a major league baseball player that barrels a baseball.
Hey, and I say this is, and shout out to my guys at Walk Off Wood, and they said this too. But if you can learn to hit with a wood bat, and then transitioning over is real easy.
Exactly.
And like you said, if you could square up a wood bat consistently at the age of 12, 13, 14,
oh yeah, put that everything else is going to be way easier
and crazy. I'm telling you right now, hey, I see it all the time, all over social media. These fast pitch girls are finding out the benefits of practicing off season with wood bats, and it shows.
Oh yeah, you hit that barrel. It's dude, especially on wood, because wood is the most. And for those of you or anybody that's watching, or if any kids are watching this, or if you even talk to the kids and you watch this, if you've never let your kid swing a wood bat, you should, because the response alone will give you one of the best lessons you'll ever learn in your life. Because they miss hit one and they will drop that son of a bitch so fast. They'll be like, "What in God's name just happened?"
The first weekend and second weekend of June, I'm anxious to see how my boys handled their first wood bat tournament.
Oh yeah, they were my absolutely favorite thing. Man, I when we played growing up, that like the KC Slammer tournament and stuff, I could not be more excited.
Yeah.
For wood bats, because number one, I got to like, as a lover of pine tar, is still one of my top 5 favorite scents in the world. I'd cut me out a piece of cardboard, get me a wash rag, and duct tape. So I duct taped my wash rag onto my cardboard, folded around my bat, pine tar, and then there's my pine tar rag. And I had to have as much pine tar so I could have the dirt. And I'm just, I'm like, oh yeah. Well, and then the goal was, we had our tape rings. Remember, we would do the little tape rings.
Oh yeah.
And that's where my tar would go. I'd get to my tar and I'd get it on my hands. Of course, because I didn't like batting gloves, and I'm like,
I see.
I loved
it. Man, it's crazy because we have a distinct, when we think of pine tar, different smell.
Yes.
The liquid pine tar.
Oh.
Nowadays they got all these cotton candies, scented pine tar sticks.
Yeah, and the sticks and shit. No, they don't know. The Kraken or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Hey, I laugh. I'm guilty. Don't get me wrong. Like, my boy wanted pine tar. The guy with pine tar, Kraken pine tar stick.
Yep. Hey,
like the college, high school kids, rubs it on the. Hey, it's all over. It's all over his game bat, and all the boys passing it down the line.
Oh yeah, yep. Man, and that's I'll never forget, like, the whole back end of the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget it. So I would leave that son of a bitch in my car.
Yeah.
My bat bag and stuff. My trunk was infested with sunflower seeds and pine tar, like in the carpet and everything. When you open my trunk at any time in the wintertime and that, you just got pine tar. You're like,
and if you didn't,
like, I was growing trees in the back of it.
Take your bat out of the trunk, and it was hot, and that pine tar just
sticky syrup shit.
It gooey.
My baseball helmet had about 6.5 pounds of it kegged on it. Like, it had like a layer that, like, you would have had to get like a screwdriver or like a scraper to get it off. Oh yeah,
man, I'm anxious to see that happen and what happens, because I think it's going to be. I try to tell my boys, like, hey man, might as well. I know we do the wood off the tee, we do wood off the front toss, and I you've taken the wood bat in the tunnel once or twice and you felt it, but we're gonna need to start working on it again. If you want to go to this tournament and really kind of show out a little bit, like oh man, like that hitters would hit.
Yeah,
Play something.
and it's that the fella Chris. I don't know if you saw on Facebook that it commented on one of our posts on Facebook about knowing me for so long and stuff. So funny story with him. So once in a while I would go play on his like summer team. And I played a wood bat tournament with him. I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 15 or 16 at this point. And I had broke my wood bat like right beforehand. Like one of my like I had, of course I had like a nice bat then. But so I had to run to Kmart. So my brother and me ran to Kmart, and I got like one of the, like the Louisville Slugger King Griffey Jr. ones. And I grabbed one of those, and I tarred it up. And it was funny because I remember playing with him. So I hit a bomb with it, and they were all like, because I'd hit with wood before, so I hit a bomb with it. And I'll never forget like trying to explain to anybody the feel of hitting a home run with a wood bat, how different it feels, or like when you barrel something with wood, just the feel of the flex and how soft it is and stuff. It's just crazy. But that sound, man, that sound when you square one.
I'll say this right now. I laugh at all you slow pitch players. I'll be honest. I said it before because I took out when you and I BP we pull out a wood bat now and then.
Oh yeah, hell yes.
I guarantee you, 95% of those guys who think that they couldn't hit one to save their life.
No.
95% of them, especially, and don't get me wrong, and this is with the game of slow pitch, because you could have guys who played nothing but football their whole career, guys who played basketball their whole career, guys who never picked up a bat and a ball and go on the slow pitch and become amazing hitters and play the game on a competitive level. But I guarantee you, half of you couldn't step up, in a video. When you're clocking your videos and showing your exit velos at 110 miles an hour with a composite bat and a hard softball, I guarantee you couldn't put up that with a 30-ounce wood bat and a dead baseball.
Right. The only I know two guys that could. There's only two though, off the top of my head. One name's Tommy.
Yeah.
And one name's Weems. Speaking of that, shout out to if you ever, speaking of dudes that, just to give you an idea of the skill level, any guys that can play slow pitch like they did, and then go to Kauffman Stadium and swing a wood bat and still hit a fucking baseball out of Kauffman.
Yeah.
In their what, 30s?
Yeah.
That's when you came from baseball to softball, not softball to baseball.
For the guys who even went on and still continue to play like the adult league baseball.
Van Stratton?
Yeah, there's one. I mean, like, and realize the difference. And they will tell you how much easier it was to play the slow pitch game.
Yeah, well, and you think all the guys we know that, like, especially now, like, when we were getting out of it, it was already started. But look at all the guys we started seeing that were coming from college baseball to softball. And it was funny, like, just some of the exit velos when they were hitting balls, or like the spin on some of them balls and shit. You're like, that kid played baseball. And then you'd see the guys that hadn't, and you're like, there's a difference. There really is.
I could really, if I really want to be an asshole and go down my list of those guys who thought they could play and hit the game, hit, and thought they were the shit in slow pitch, and say, I know you couldn't hit a baseball to save your fucking life. I'd lose more than half my friends' lists on Facebook.
Thinking the same thing. I'm sitting here. It's not bad. I'm in my head. I'm over here thinking to myself, I'm like, they're thinking, and I guarantee you they're thinking, fuck these little short fat bastards, me. But I'm sitting here in my head. I'm really thinking, I'm like, this guy, that guy.
Yeah. Well, man, I know it's been a couple weeks, and I know baseball season is full effect, man. I kind of glad we talked about how your boy's season's going, how my season's going. Man, NFL draft.
Woo!
How do you feel the Chiefs did?
I feel like we did.
How do you feel the Chiefs did? Mm-hmm. How do you feel your Lions did?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you who kind of surprised you, if anything?
Chiefs, I think, did great. Honestly, I think the whole time, like all the speculation and everything, I think the minute that kid ran and broke the record at the combine, Worthy, I think the minute that happened, whether Veach was on board or not, Andy loves fast people. And Mahomes, I guarantee you said, I guarantee you they both went, yes. No other option. Go get him now. Because I think they saw Tyreek part 2. That's in their head. I think that's exactly, and they do their homework. I love the lineman. I can't say his name. The great big dude, the BYU guy.
BYU boy, yes.
I'm glad we didn't reach like a lot of people had us actually reaching for him in the first. I'm glad that he literally at the back of the second was there, or third or whatever it was. I love that we got him. That worked out perfect. I think that was one of those. We were dead set. We wanted him, and to make sure we got him. I think there's a lot of potential there. I really think where Veach does his best work, Veach and Andy are later rounds.
Yeah.
The safety that we got is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
That cornerback from Tennessee, health concerns, but the last guy we had with concerns out of Tennessee happens to be, one of the best right guards in football.
Yeah.
And we got him really late, and there were health concerns. So I like the chances there. I like the lineman we got that. Oh, from where is he from? Slipped my mind. Got a couple linemen, but the kid that played center and right guard, left guard.
God Lord.
There's that. Yeah, that guy. I watched a little film on him actually and did a little homework on him. But for the life of me, I can't think of names right now.
I can picture.
Yep, I can picture him. I like that because it's funny with Tunney coming back from injury. He'll be fine, but Tunney getting older, big contract. I like having that Creed and Smith all in situations where their contracts are coming up, where extensions either happen or cuts happen or whatever we do there. Knowing that fella has been a performer at center, at right guard, at left guard, and has kind of played everywhere. His versatility is huge. And having Wanya Morris there too. So I love what the Chiefs did. I feel really good about it. I think that if Xavier Worthy is healthy and pans out, you add that with Hollywood Brown, while we wait for Rashee Rice to be suspended half the year, and we might get the deep ball back.
You say Rashee Rice. I know he's gonna. We all know he's gonna get punished. But I think what's gonna happen because of who we have, I think he gets taken in, and you'll see him turn around real quick.
Oh yeah.
I think with the leadership that the Chiefs have, as far as Andy, Pat, Travis, and all the other ones, I think it's they're going to sit him down and say, "Look, young man, look what
get right
here. You could be a part of this ride, or you can get the fuck out."
Exactly.
And I think, but overall, I think Kansas City did an excellent job. I think, like you said, the speed. I think you look at some of the tool. They were plugging holes where they needed to plug holes.
Exactly. My favorite. My favorite Chiefs pick. Right there, baby.
I tell you what,
Jared Wiley, baby.
The one that may surprise you would be that tight end.
That's Jared Wiley.
Tight end will do something.
That's my dude. That's a bad dude.
So
I'm like, when I saw that, of course, I did It was all over the place. I'm like, yes, good big boy, bad dude, catches the ball.
What about your Lions?
I love what they did. Anytime one of my Mizzou boys goes early, it's time to celebrate. We don't have that happen a lot. So love that. And then they doubled up again. They went after needs, man, and they did a lot of trading. They were aggressive. I think that's just the mentality there now. I mean, you know how it is that everyone. If everyone, I think everyone last year, the Lions got their curiosity.
Yeah.
I think Campbell and what they were doing got everyone's curiosity. I fully feel like this year everyone should probably have, they should probably have their attention. Like I'm convinced that team is good enough, and they were good enough last year, and they haven't lost anything really.
Yeah.
The talent level and the coaching is there for them to compete, and now that division is getting better. Like everybody in that division
I'm
got
gonna
better.
go there. I may differ on that. Before I do that though, what was the surprise that made you watch it? I did miss the final couple rounds. I did watch.
So my two what the fucks of the whole draft. Like bar none, far and away my two. There I had two legit. Three. Take that back. The three what the fucks. The Titans first pick. I get it, but I didn't understand it. I said what the fuck when they picked. Phoenix. The Falcons. I don't get me wrong. I love me some Michael Penix. He's a bad man. I love him. That's not where or who I ever thought was going to pick him. I'm still trying to understand that. I get the normal reason, like, oh, we have our current, and that's our future, and he can learn under Kirk Cousins. But I'm like,
if
he wasted like a top 10 pick.
The biggest one is when they're saying is if Kirk stays his whole, Penix will be 28.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what are we doing? I just feel like they missed a very good opportunity to make that football team better now.
Yeah.
In a division that is easily winnable.
Yeah.
In a shitty division.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst division in football. And instead of improving your team, you've got a talented quarterback to sit on the bench. Instead of alignment, helping your goddamn defense.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an excuse to lose in that league, especially with not all that. You got Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Now you got Kirk Cousins, and you ain't got no fucking excuses not to kick the shit out of everybody. That league is, that division is ass cheeks. That's all there is. And then my number one, and I don't care if Cody sees this and I troll him or not, my number one what the fuck in the whole draft is what the fuck are the Bills doing trading us anyway to get up in a draft, to get anybody that can help us send their asses home again. My only thought process is Buffalo finally figured out who Daddy is. And they said, you know what, Daddy? Here you go. We're just going to let you have this, Daddy. So when it gets cold and it's the playoff time and we have our Allen versus Mahomes matchup, we can just go home.
Yeah.
We don't even got to make it tough. You know what? We'll even do you one better. We'll trade you up so you can get your guy. So when the Bengals send us home before we ever get to you, we can just set up Burrow and Mahomes and we can just call it good. Or the Texans if they want to come join the party.
I look at when I looked at the draft, of course, the Atlanta pick absolutely kind of it made everything go, what the hell's going on? I think surprised me is
the whole first round too.
A lot of trading at all. Like everybody kind of stayed,
except the Eagles, who traded 18,000 times.
Yeah. I will say this, so it may surprise. Now, this is if it pans out. I think Chicago, the Bears may actually, with the picks and what they're bringing in, may actually surprise some people.
Man, that whole division,
depending on how if Caleb works out, then they look like absolute fucking geniuses.
Oh yeah.
If they don't, 3 years from now, Bears are on the clock. They need another quarterback.
No QB. Yep. Well, and it's crazy because you got DJ Moore.
Yep.
You got Keenan Allen. Now you've got 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers. No, Keenan Allen's like 200 years old, but still as consistent as it gets. You've got DeAndre Swift. You've got Roschon Johnson.
Yeah.
You've got Rome Odunze, or whatever, however you say his last name, that you just got from Washington, who's the best wide receiver on that team. When he gets in there, he should be the best wide receiver on that team. Even though right now he's wide receiver 3, when he gets in there, it's like, Jesus Christ. You got a good tight end, and if Caleb's worth half a shit, and you have a sneaky, pretty good young defense, all of a sudden that team is dangerous. Then you look over and you're thinking, oh, Minnesota's done for. They're in the shit. They're done. All of a sudden, Aaron Jones is there. All of a sudden, Jay Jettis is there. All of a sudden, Jordan Addison is there still. You still got TJ Hawkinson. And all of a sudden, now you've got a really good defensive player you picked up. If McCarthy has a chance to he's either a product of a system he was in with Harbaugh, because he didn't throw the ball very much, or he was sitting there quietly being pretty good, and we never saw it because of Harbaugh's offense. And if he goes right in there, he couldn't have a better script written for throwing the ball well. Like Caleb Williams, same way. If you fail, like if you can't produce on either one of those teams at the quarterback position, at least somewhat with the receivers you have, holy shit. It's like, but you got one of you's got the, maybe arguably when he's healthy, the best wide receiver in football, in Jay Jettis.
Yeah.
On the other side, you got the most consistent hands in football with Keenan Allen, who's 100 years old and never drops the ball. You've got DJ Moore, that after the catch is one of the hardest guys in the world to take down.
Yeah.
You've got every setup. You have both of you have solid running backs, especially receiving running backs. There's that division all of a sudden gets very interesting, because if Caleb Williams does pan out, if JJ McCarthy's good, all of a sudden, and Jordan Love's obviously not terrible.
Yeah.
That's starting to pan out. You've got that division's actually fun to watch.
Here, I tell you what, I think the one that may surprise people, that surprised me that he went down. He actually became one of my favorite players, and I'm anxious to see what he does. I'm going to probably butcher his name. Laiatu Latu out of UCLA.
The big boy with the neck.
That whoever that he reminds me of when Aiden Hutchinson came out across being an edge rusher, and may come in and just light up the league. I mean, could be wrong, but he goes. I think he can come in and do the same thing. But
and you look at, he's got the build for it. He was easily the best pass rusher in the class.
Yeah,
like polished. Yeah, he's huge, and he goes through a good situation. Like on the Colts, he's got an opportunity to get right in there and get to work, just like on the Lions, like Hutchinson did. And man, he watching him go up there during the draft, you could tell he was taking in every moment. He appreciated the fact that 2 years earlier they told him he'd never get to play football again.
Stud.
It's guys like that and the perseverance like that. Those dudes always come out ahead. Like, the work ethic is probably insane. From being told you're never going to do it again to doing it, and you could just see it in his face. He just looked like when he walked on stage, and everything looked right out the gate. And usually when it's like that, they're going to excel. You get that feeling, and it's great. That's the thing with, I think, where Caleb Williams makes everybody nervous. It's hard to read that dude.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a fucking weird dude. He's got Aaron Rodgers, but
hey,
the other weird dude, Aaron Rodgers, is a really weird fucking dude.
If he comes,
kind of have that same, like,
if he comes in and dominates, he's eclectic.
Exactly. If not, he's a fucking weirdo.
He's not weird. He's eclectic.
He's different. Exactly.
If he busts, who the fuck is this weirdo? Get the fuck out of football.
Man, Exactly, because he's got a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in him, and he's got some Cam Newton in him, and that's like a fucked up mix.
A little bit of Dennis Rodman in him too.
Yeah, he got You know, he's a little dainty. He got that Cam Newton dainty going on a little bit. But then he got that Aaron Rodgers like talking the third person kind of shit too, and I'm like, my guy here's a little offbeat, a little off tilt.
Now I'm gonna bring it back because I know you're not a basketball guy, so my opinion, your opinion, is kind of not skewed per se. There's two things I want to ask you.
Okay.
Everybody's heard this whole WNBA and Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you've seen the hate she receives, the hate people pass her way.
Yep.
We're going to get a little, how would you say? We're going to maybe get a little edgy with the show here.
Okay.
Do you think a lot of the hate she gets is because she's white?
Yes, probably. I mean, yeah.
Now,
here's why I say that. I mean, how do we? Okay, so
I took it there.
So my first angle I'm going to go with this is I'm going to go with a few different ways I'm going to go about it.
Okay.
So baseball is the first thing I think of.
Uh-huh.
Jackie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, obviously, everything was not that way.
Uh-huh.
He was groundbreaking. He opened the door. He was also a player and did things that they had not seen a lot of before.
Yep.
Like the things he could do. You know, don't get me wrong. I still argue with anybody, whether he's a fat bastard or not, that Babe Ruth's probably, to this day, one of the greatest, if not the greatest baseball player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that Jackie Robinson brought to the game and the doors he opened, and it's what made the game, it transcended.
Yeah.
The word transcending is huge here.
Yeah.
It opened the door. I feel like Roberto Clemente also is another one of that. Where that happened.
The sport.
Yes, yeah. They were sport transcenders to open their eyes, and you have what you have now. That it is every kind of race is in it. It is, but if you ask me, I thoroughly enjoy some of our white boys that play baseball, but there are several ethnicities that are killing it, and without them, the game would not be what it is today. They've brought flair, they've brought passion. We talked about it with the World Baseball Classic. They brought everything that makes the game the way it is now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with that part of that.
Okay.
People fear what they don't understand.
Exactly.
Now, in the WNBA, I mean, I don't watch
that's WNBA, I asked you because
but I can tell you this.
It's all over social media, so I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I remember Diana Taurasi.
Uh-huh.
She is not a black woman.
Well, she is mixed.
She's mixed, yeah.
Yeah.
But not, it's still Sue Bird.
Yeah.
I can't remember the girl from Missouri State.
God dang it. Styles. Not.
Yep.
Yep. I'll figure.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There have been, and then the list goes on and on. I know for a fact there have been several white women that have been played well in WNBA.
Uh-huh.
Are they the Cheryl Swoops? Are they, any of the USC girls?
Yeah.
That have came in and out? Are they
Miller? No.
The Deladon lady that was super good forever? Are they any of them? No, they're not.
No.
But what you're getting here now, I'll tell you what, to get me, because you know how I'm not a basketball guy, to get me to turn on a college basketball game is hard enough. To get me to turn on, and I'm the most non-sexist person ever, but to get me to turn on a women's college basketball game is even harder.
Yeah.
To get me to watch it for more than a quarter,
yeah,
not just because of curiosity, but now that I'm actually vested in what's going on,
yeah,
is huge. You know what they call that when you get people to do that? That's transcendent. When you get people to do that regularly,
and it is.
She has the potential to do so.
She is.
Now,
also, it is you're, as the WNBA, you're riding the wave to bring the attention to your sport that helps the revenue in your sport.
Yeah,
because the revenue in your sport has never been good enough. And I will go on, this is where I'll get controversial with it, is, women are always talking about empowering women. But when you have an organization like this, where are all those women to help empower those women?
Yeah.
You
this
complain
is the
about,
thing.
and like I said, don't get me wrong, what I have to say, it's the WNBA is great. We've talked about this before. The women's soccer league is great. Don't get me, like, I love it. Because why? Because it gives my young daughter an opportunity wherever she goes to say, look, I can do it. If I continue to go down this track, if I continue, I want to play this, I want to play basketball, I want to do soccer, I want to do whatever. It, like you said, it transcended the sport. She transcends the sport. But in order for those leagues to succeed, you need support. You can't say we're about women and women movement and you being a woman and then you don't show up.
Yeah.
You don't buy the
It's
ticket.
hypocritical. Yeah, it's
It
hypocritical.
becomes, you don't buy the jerseys. You don't buy, I don't, the TV thing, and I get that. You also have to understand is people say, oh, well, the men make more, but you also have to realize the NBA has been around for a lot longer.
Oh yeah, I mean significantly longer.
The soccer, the game of soccer. I mean, God, we remember that is the women's game in soccer is almost bigger than the game in men's.
Yeah, and two, you think about basketball and any, like, a lot of sports, like, I love that the women are getting noticed a lot more, and like it's becoming more mainstream, and like they're pushing it, and it needs to be that way.
Yeah.
But it's also too the amount of young women and stuff getting sports. It's not like it was. It is on the rise now, and this is like now. So you're talking, when you like the NBA, you look at 100 years now, however, and you've got, everyone's always like, you've always had a lot of male basketball players. It was already bigger. Women's has had to grow slowly and smallly. You had kids, you had high school girls basketball and stuff, but until they were enabled to have, until they finally got like professional, now they can get bigger, and it's still growing. It's going to take time to grow. It's growing with Caitlin Clark. What you have is they have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to like it.
No.
And if it was flipped the other way, like I said, that's where I went with Jackie Robinson.
It's the way I look at it, and I know my point of view may be different than yours. And I say this kind of being minority male in ways, is you have to look at it, and I think I look at it on this, probably because I played the sport. I grew up playing the sport. There was, next to baseball, basketball is my second love.
Yeah, for sure.
What happens is, and I said that's why I ask about the color thing, is because I think, and I've said this to many of them, some of them may chime in and laugh, and basketball is seen as a predominantly black sport.
There's no, and anyone that doesn't believe that is naive as fuck.
Who is not quite have that look, but stand out above, and it's perceived. So then it becomes a black-white issue or black-white topic. Is she's getting the love because she's white. No, I think why she's getting love is because she's transcended the sport. She's
pretty good at it.
She's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
She is also, the way I look at it is, you said Diana Taurasi's has said numerous comments, and she made a big comment saying, "Oh well, when she gets in the league playing against grown women and shit like that." Guess what? When Michael Jordan came in the league, they said the same thing. He's coming in and playing against grown men. When Kobe Bryant first came in the league, he was, oh my God, he's a high school kid, but he's playing against grown men. When you think about it, it's like, I put it as like, you say Jackie Robinson, I said the Doug Williams effect.
Yeah.
White black quarterbacks were not.
Yeah, non-existent.
Non-existent. The sport of football was almost like you could only play quarterback if you were white.
Yep, you're white boy.
Till Doug Williams came in and won the Super Bowl as a black quarterback.
Yes.
I think that is, that is kind of where it kind of goes. That, to me, that's the way it goes with it. Is, she is coming to a sport that is, dominated by blacks. And the fact that she's a little white girl from Iowa.
From Iowa, I was gonna say little Iowa white girl.
Now I tell you what, I think if she was a white girl from the streets of New York City, totally different.
Yeah, they'd be like, yep.
But it's a white girl from Iowa.
No, I get you.
Who is hooping, like she's killing it. And then, they're talking about, because she's Nike. Nike ain't dumb.
Yeah, they know.
Hey, Whitney was, guess what? Nothing against all the other ones. Like, they're great athletes. These are your best of your best of women. But Nike's going, guess what? My Nike basketball girl shoes are about to skyrocket in sales.
Yeah, everyone's gonna buy them.
I got
transcendent.
The one of the hottest female basketball players that just lost this year by us to a 3-point shooting contest to the best 3-point shooter in the men's NBA All-Star.
NBA, yeah, right.
And now I'm getting the hottest thing coming out of college. And when you have men wearing Sabrina shoes, and you have so many, like, I hear so many of the NBA guys like cheering on Caitlin Clark. Who's going to be rocking her shoes?
Exactly. Somebody rolls out. Exactly, dude. You think about it. If I know it's not, you can't do Steph because of his shoe deal, but you have like one of the Nike boys come out rolling, or LeBron comes out rolling in them, or somebody like that, and all of a sudden they're gonna be like, "Whoa, hey,
man!"
Everybody gonna be having shoes. And the other thing I always
that young girl, that freshman girl, Juju Watkins from USC, if she could come up the ranks, Nike is
gonna be there.
Dumb business. Guess what?
Hell no.
Nike is about Nike.
Yeah. They empower what they want and make money.
Money. Guess what? So
that's the money.
I gotta ride that top of that wave right now. Absolutely. Not saying you guys underneath were not great, but man,
here's my other one. It's not sports related, but it begs the same scenario when it happened, and you'll know this. So we'll just throw this out there. Eminem.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying. So like, there's kind of two ways you can go about that.
Hey,
like,
you know what?
We've seen both, and like you go one route, and sometimes it still seems like you're like, let's just call it out and see what happens, and it's like,
I'm glad you say that, because I could go. I'm a hip hop head,
Exactly. That's why I know you'd be like,
And you talk to white boys who listen to rap or hip hop, who's your top rapper, 90% of the time you're getting Eminem.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna say.
If you ask someone else who's like me, myself, I'll throw you out someone like Nas. Or
I'm gonna say Nas or Rakim or I got like
one of those guys. So
yeah, I'm like
you go, oh, how is he not in your top 5? Well, that's my top 5.
Yeah.
Your top 5's different.
Exactly.
Like,
but that's you think of it as that's where I go with that because
my extent of hip hop music goes a little deeper than what yours is.
Exactly. And you see that that's going to be it's like,
but
because that's kind of I'm like that's maybe like how
my next question, because I don't know if you heard it, and I say this because I'll admit I'm a hater of this guy, LeBron James. So Lakers go down 0-3.
I heard his comment. It's just basketball.
It just
I
was going there.
I know what you're gonna say. And I'm not a guy. I'll tell you what. If fucking Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, I'm gonna go. Yeah, because I'm not. I mean, LeBron's amazing for everything he's done, but if you're still playing in the NBA and your comment in the fucking you're in the playoffs of basketball is it's just basketball. What the fuck are you doing? If you're waiting for Bronny, we're already a transfer in. We're already in the portal. If the first showing at USC is anything that we're seeing, you're waiting around. You're going to coach the kid. You're not going to play with him.
Yeah.
And if it's just basketball, what the fuck are your teammates thinking? What's Eyebrow thinking right now? I don't even watch basketball, but if I'm the Brow, I'm like, I'm going to punch you square in the face. It's just fucking basketball. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan would smack the shit out of that man. Like, you would think, like, that motherfucker played both those dudes. Like, he saw greatness before he became greatness, and then he come off with, it's just basketball. Well, yeah, it's just basketball. What the fuck are you doing? You're 42 years old and you're still playing it. If you're still playing it, it's more than just basketball to you, or you'd fucking retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you would say, go up to him and say, hey, Michael Jordan's better than you. Are you going to, it's just basketball. Or are you going to fucking all of a sudden have an argument?
Do you think comments like that is what hurts his legacy?
Yes. Yes. Dude. I'm not a basketball guy, but fucking dude, like, there are dudes that, like,
my brother,
Jordan,
I love him to death, is a huge LeBron guy. He always tries to go that Michael, and I've got to a point where I don't try to bite on the subject. Cause
you look at I go
Jordan. Kobe. I even go back further. Larry Bird would have never said it's just basketball.
Oh no,
Magic Johnson would have said that.
No,
Isaiah Thomas and the bad boy Pistons.
Isaiah Thomas wouldn't say that shit.
Basketball.
Yeah,
the love of God, the guys I grew up watching, even to when Allen Iverson would have never. He would say something about practice.
I was gonna say.
We talk about practice.
Barkley, fucking Shaq. I haven't heard Shaq soundbite on it, but there's got to be one. Because I can imagine Shaq Diesel's like, the fuck do you just say? Well, that's you said AI. That's exactly where I was going with that. So, like I said, I didn't watch a lot of basketball, but a couple of my buddies, they loved it.
Yeah.
I did watch Jordan. I liked Kobe a lot. I liked watching Kobe play basketball. I didn't like basketball as a whole, but I thoroughly enjoyed Kobe Bryant because that motherfucker, that Mamba mentality was real.
It is.
That dude was real. AI, Allen Iverson, to me, like, was just, he played so fucking mad.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yep.
And it was awesome because he was just fuck the world against me and so good. Like, I loved that dude. So I'm like, I see that and I'm like, these motherfuckers have got to be going, you're the first place in this, you're first in this. You've played all these years to do all this shit to get yourself over the GOAT. And then in one stupid fucking comment, You remind everybody why you are not the GOAT. I don't care who watches this. LeBron James is not Michael Jordan.
He's not.
Jordan better than him at basketball. You never hear Jordan say some shit like that.
Hey.
Jordan probably better than him at gambling. I don't know, maybe not, but
Michael Jordan still beats him out in shoe sales.
Michael Jordan right now, you put Michael Jordan on the court right now at fucking 65 years old, that son of a bitch still not going to say it's just basketball. He'd be out there trying to kick everyone's ass if they were losing.
He's out there to murder.
He would be like, I'm scoring 80. Fuck all of you.
I think
it's just basketball.
He fed into when I heard that. I was all like, that right there sums it up. I think it sums up the whole mentality of the generation.
It's just basketball.
When you're on top and you're winning and you got it all, I'm the king.
Yeah.
When you're about to get swept out of the playoffs and you're on your last leg, it's just basketball.
Yeah, I don't think that big goofy Denver dude. I don't think he's thinking it's just basketball. Like,
nope.
I mean, but to be fair, I did notice that, totally off subject of that, but old Garnett, another super team, still can't win shit. That motherfucker should be sending Steph Curry Christmas cards the rest of his life.
Oh, Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not Kevin Durant. I mean, holy God. I saw that. I'm like, this guy's on a super team every year. Leaves teams to go to super teams and can't get out of the playoffs.
Well.
I'm like, man, say you need Steph Curry without saying you need Steph Curry.
I tell you what, man, it's like when I heard that, when I had to hear you, especially not being the basketball savant or anything like that, but that right there sums up the way generations are different.
Yes.
That's like, could you imagine Pete Rose saying it's just baseball?
No.
Could you imagine Lawrence Taylor saying it's just football?
Oh, exactly. Like, that'd be like, I mean, in the old school now, that'd be like if Belichick, or Brady, before Brady retired, if Brady would have, before he retired, if they'd have lost the Super Bowl and Brady got on the mic and said, oh, it's just football.
Just football.
Really? And there you go. There's a GOAT, that you want to have a GOAT conversation. There's the difference right there. That shit would have never come out of Tom Brady's mouth. There ain't none of the greats in baseball. You tell,
you're not
here. You can go back even farther. Pete Rose. Can you imagine someone like George Brett? He ain't even want to, he's good, but some of those guys.
You imagine even Pat Mahomes saying it's just football.
Yeah, and I just don't see that coming out of that fella's mouth. There are things that you're just like, what?
But
sometimes I think, more than any of the other ones, I think that the other thing that makes LeBron, I'm just going to go this way. If you're a pro Kobe and Jordan guy,
you're not. Yeah.
You're not a LeBron guy.
No.
And I think a lot of it was as good as Jordan and Kobe were, and as good as they knew they were. Yeah, I don't think that they were in love with Jordan and Kobe.
It was the mentality.
They were in love with winning.
Yeah.
And beating everybody else. I feel like LeBron is in love with LeBron.
Yes.
That's the difference. I never felt that way about Kobe and Jordan. Even to this day, not as a basketball guy, but I always felt like they were in love with winning more than anything else, was beating everybody else, and then being the number one contributor to doing so.
Yeah.
I feel like LeBron's always, and LeBron haters are going to come back and think we're fucking psychopaths. Like, you fat fucks don't know what you're talking about. But at the same time, LeBron loves LeBron a lot.
He does.
Now, don't get me wrong. He's got a great acting career when he's done, because he's funny.
Oh,
it's just basketball. That's funny.
Now, I go.
Yeah. And then the slap on his head. Did you see that?
The temper tantrum was the best.
Well, I'm sitting here. I saw him get smacked on his bald spot.
Yeah.
And this dude went over to the sideline, had to take,
he
was taking a play. I'm like,
temper tantrum last night's game, he was literally jumping up and down, throwing a temper tantrum.
Dude,
I
he just
put it
need to
like
go be a dad.
I will always say I'm a Jordan guy. I will always be a Jordan guy. That era of basketball will always be the greatest to me. I do love watching the players I do now and the ones I follow. You know, things like that. And this is where I go. When Kobe first came to the league, I was not a huge Kobe guy because I thought then he tried to emulate Jordan so much. By the end of the career, I loved everything about Kobe. And that coming from me, who I am not a Lakers fan whatsoever. But, you know, I go, as much as I even go, I'm never ever wear a Yankees hat, a Yankees jersey. If someone ever gifted me a Don Mattingly jersey, I would absolutely wear that, and that would be the only one.
Yeah.
Because that was probably out of all the Yankees, my favorite. Donnie Baseball.
Oh yeah.
I not a big I don't like the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. Everything, but if someone ever said, "Here's a Kobe Bryant jersey," I'd wear that thing like proudly. So, I want to get your opinion because I know you're not a big basketball savant guy.
But yeah, on that's just an old buddy of mine too. Like guy I worked with for quite a while. I haven't talked to him here in a little bit, but he's a diehard Laker fan and LeBron guy, and he's passionate about it, and I get it. And like I can respect him for it because he makes valid arguments because he like genuinely is a basketball guy. Like he loves it, he watches it. But then, you know, anytime I need ammo, I just have to wait a little bit for LeBron to say some shit, and then you're good.
Yeah.
And then you don't even need ammo no more. LeBron gives you ammo against LeBron every time.
What has tarnished his legacy, or not even tarnished, but will always put a little bit of skepticism on his career, his legacy, was, and why when you talk to guys who are Jordan fans, you talk to guys who are Kobe fans, and you bring up LeBron, they will always say Jordan stayed with the Bulls and won it with the Bulls. Kobe stayed with the Lakers and won it with the Lakers. That big to do about I'm going to South Beach.
Yep.
And it became an ESPN special. He's also a product of the media.
Oh, for sure.
And I think what happens is he wins there. Then he goes back to Cleveland and wins. And then now he's goes out to LA to try to win. And it's like when you hear, you know, one of the best things I said is like true Lakers fans even have a hard time being a fan of LeBron.
Yeah.
Because he's not a true Laker.
Nope.
I get, I always say I get that. Because, it's like, to me, it's no different than said, like, Derek Jeter came over to Red Sox.
Yeah. He's not going to be a Red Sox ever. He's always going to be a Yankee.
He's a Red Sox to play, but he's never going to go down as a Red Sox.
Yeah, well, see, and like with me and LeBron too, it's like I don't picture. I remember him winning with the Heat.
Yeah.
But I remember Dwayne Wade and fucking Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
But LeBron is the Cav.
Yeah.
I remember that because that's Cleveland. That's where he was.
But that's D Wade won before LeBron even got there with Shaq. So
that's what I'm just
but
not a LeBron guy. Now I like him in movies. Like I said, don't get me wrong. He's great in that Trainwreck movie and shit. He's funny as hell. He wants to do that. I'm all for it. I'm not watching him play fucking basketball though.
But man, I tell you what, man, I know it's been crazy. I know we've been trying, like I said, it's been a couple weeks. Man, feel like it's been, hectic for you, hectic for me. And I'll be honest with you, kind of miss taking time out and doing this.
Yeah, when you get back on track, hopefully we can get this going again.
I tell you what, man, I know it's baseball season is hard and all that stuff. And like I said, we're just normal guys that got to work normal jobs, and we can't just schedule around this. So it would be a lot easier to say, let's do this and do it. But
right,
man,
yeah,
before we go,
every week I'm like, I'm ready, and I'm like, shit.
You gotta talk about it.
Yep, that's good looking. Man, I'm just straight up old school Vermont lake monsters. Got the old lake monsters on. You know, one of my favorites. Just it's one of my first actual minor league hats. So loved it. That is nasty. I've got a little ammo coming shortly.
Little Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's good looking.
Inaugural season side patch.
I like that.
You know how we talked about it's got that southwestern flair.
Yes, it does.
Southwest. That's the reason why I've become a huge when I come to looking at hats, the Diamondbacks of some of their stuff is grabbing my attention.
Yep.
Don't know why. But
I'm not gonna lie to you. So I know it looks like a slow pitch softball jersey. It actually looks like, because we all know, you know as well as I do, Hudson might even admit this. If you think about it, every team I've ever had has been pretty ahead of the game when it comes to colors and like fading in and out and like designs. I feel like we've always been, we were a little at the time. Everybody looked at us like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then fast forward 2 years, and you're like, "Oh, now it's a thing." Them Philly City Connects, that hat. I don't give a shit about that jersey. That hat.
The
hell with the hat. I don't need the jersey. That hat though. Yeah, that hat. Then the Mets City Connects last night. The hat. These hats, man. I'm like, woo.
I like the jerseys.
The jerseys look good too. Like that's one of the ones I like.
I like how they tied in the city of Queens. Of course, they're at Queens Bridge. I don't know if you realize they had the color purple tied into the jerseys.
Yep. So say the purple's in there. Yep.
Purple in there for the L train that runs, that way.
Yep.
So who else is coming out with City Connect this year?
Man, now you got me wondering. I mean, so far, I know so the hats especially I've been like, you know what? What do we got going on this year? 9 new City Connects coming. So we've seen the Mets, we've seen the Phillies. Who else we got? Uh-oh. Let's see. We got the Guardians, the Tigers, the Dodgers, the Twins, the Mets, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Rays, and the Blue Jays.
Out of all those, I think I would love to see the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I will. Final be the Rays, just to see how they go about it.
Yeah,
but the Tigers could be pretty sweet too.
I'm curious how they tie that, what they're going to do.
Yeah,
because they're still, like, to me, that the traditional, I go back and forth with the traditional bird, the old bird, the bird with the flag on back, the bird with the baseball on back.
I will forever be the gunmetal gray 90s bird. I don't know if you remember that one, like the 98.
Yeah.
Right in there. Oof.
I think right now, so far, the Mets are winning.
Oh yeah, those are sweet. those are just sweet.
Absolutely love the hat. I love the hat, but the rest of it I do without. But man,
this was my Blue Jay.
Yeah,
that's the one I love.
I go back and forth with that one.
That's the one I dig.
Anything else for the people?
No, man. Hopefully we can get back on track. It's baseball's slowing down. We're getting on that last stretch for the boys. They get beginning of May is the season ends. There next week's the next stretch, and then I think we have maybe one more game, and then we get into like districts and stuff.
Yep.
So we're heading down the stretch, so that'll free up some of my time. which would be awesome. I got to go to Wichita for work coming up, but I'll be back for that Sunday, so should be opening up. Other than that, man, I hope we can stay consistently doing this. I know we had a nice little break. It was good. Like, it was nice to have a break, but then it was like, oh man, I really missed doing this part of it. But nothing, man. I'm sure we'll tackle some wrestling. We have to follow up on a WrestleMania and what's going on now, and there's everything's changed. Like, you and me, I think we were all on the Damian Priest thing.
Yeah.
We might have been wrong who the cash in was on, but we at least got some of that right.
Right.
Yep. So
I tell you
probably
what,
cover that.
We'll end this night 2, absolutely better than night 1.
Oh, by far, yeah. Night 1 was dog shit.
Absolute banger. All right.
Yep. I'm like
geek status 1000.
Yep. That was awesome.
But
that was awesome,
man.
I'll tell you what, and you and me have talked about this, but I keep hitting up about food. Like, one of the things that everybody keeps asking me about, like when they watch this stuff, is like, what are you big bastards going to talk about food? I'm like, well, is it because you can tell we like food, or is it because you guys want to hear about food? So I keep saying, and you and me talked about barbecue and stuff. I have a feeling that before too long, you and me are just going to have to attack this whole thing.
Well,
and just hit them with the best burgers, like our opinions of what's what.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and plan ahead. Let's make that one of the next one, if not the next 2 episodes.
Perfect.
Knock it out, because we are coming up.
We'll just do the fucking best foods around KC with fucking Hobbs and Dave.
Why I say that is because I saw you post that picture of the Italian nachos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, definitely looking for, like, we'll do it again. Like I said, we've been on hiatus, but baseball season is baseball season. We knew it was going to happen, but we'll get it straight.
We'll get it going.
So, we're out of here.